Alright, full-time executive gaming back, and today I'm going to be showing you 3 more build hacks, which with the 4th one, of course, being the ender chest that you have to stick around till the end to find out what's in it. But anyways, the first one's going to be about how to get air pockets underwater. The second one's what kind of glass you can put on your beacon that will actually basically it will kind of almost delete the beacon beam. So even if you have your beacon activated with any amount of a certain amount of ore blocks in certain positions, and you put but anyways the third one's going to be a structure that kind of looks like a mace, and it's super simple. It's only 3 blocks. And then, of course, the 4th one, you'll have to stick around to the end, because that one's going to be in the ender chest, and you'll have to stick around to the end for that one. But anyway, let's get started. So the first one is, of course, going to be how to basically make air pockets underwater, and it only requires three blocks and a torch. Now, it depends. It could be 3 to 4 blocks, depending on basically how big of a space underwater you are. So like if you're in like a small ravine, that's only like one block tall, you're gonna need less blocks than if it was like a giant ravine like 10 blocks tall. Because the thing is, it depends, because there's going to be around the block there's 4 other blocks. So if you want to block off the water from that block, you're basically going to have to place 4 blocks. But if you're under only in 1 block, you're only going to have to use 2 to 3 blocks. And you're going to need a torch just so you can see underwater. And don't accidentally just go back underwater because you can't see. That would be bad. But anyways, I've made my own tunnel underwater. Basically what you do is you're basically going to when you're underwater, you're going to want to look for that block that you're going to be swimming on top of, and you're going to want that air block to be on, and you're going to place that block there, and then one other block around it. You gotta be quick because I'm drowning right now. You gotta be definitely quick. But basically you're gonna break that block that you want the air pocket to be, and then place the other block. You're gonna place the other block. It's basically gonna be diagonal to the first block you placed. It's gonna be around on the other side. Now I only needed 3 blocks because it was like a corner. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, I found like a corner underwater, and this is like a very small space. If you were to, you weren't in a corner and you were kind of out just in the middle of the, like a ravine, underwater ravine somewhere, you would need the thing is, if it was like more than 1 block tall, you'd need about 5 blocks. But if it was only like 1 block tall, you need 4 blocks. But if you found the corner in a 1 block space, 1 block underwater ravine, you need 3 blocks. But the thing is, if it's bigger than 1 block, it's going to be 4 blocks. But anyways, yeah, you want to place a torch here, so basically you can see, because you want to be able to see, and you want to make sure that because a lot of times if you're in a deep ravine, basically there's going to be water still under you, and you're going to be still swimming. So the thing is, because you're going to still be swimming, the thing is you want a torch, because you want to make sure that you don't drown and you're not swimming in the proper direction. So that's basically why you have a torch. But luckily I'm in a small space that there's no water underneath me. But a lot of times that's not the case, and in fact I don't think I've ever been fortunate enough to be in a case where there wasn't water under me. So definitely keep a torch handy. But anyways, let's move on to the second hack, which is about what type of glass basically deletes the beacon beam. So basically, if you want the beacon beam, you're going to need any amount of glass, any color. Obviously, you can change the color of your beacon beam. But the whole point of this hack is, if you don't want that beam, and you still want a glass to, I guess, see through it and see your beacon, basically that's going to be called the tinted glass. Now the tinted glass is a special type of glass that basically, when you place it around anything, basically, if you make a whole room out of it, then, in that room, it's basically dark. It's like really, really dark. So it basically keeps out light. And that's including the powerful light of the beacon beam, which is pretty impressive. So basically, the tinted glass kind of looks like black stained glass, but it is much more powerful, obviously. And so it basically it blocks out any light of any kind. So basically, I'm going to activate this beacon by putting I'm just going to do the basic formation of ore blocks. So I'm going to do 9 ore blocks now because we're getting into about the beacon beam and about how to basically remove it. So basically, of course, there you go. The beacon beam kind of goes up into infinity there. But basically, of course, you do any type of glass. You do red stained glass. It turns the beacon beam red, and the beacon beam is still going. You could replace that with normal glass, and it works the same. It just turns it back to its original color. But when you put tinted glass on the beacon, it's a whole different story. The beacon's gone. The beacon's completely gone, but you can still see into the beacon. And the reason you can still see through it, even though it keeps out light, is because it keeps out light, but you can still see through it. So it's not see-through proof. It's not like you can still see through it, but it just blocks out all light. So you can still see to the beacon. Obviously you want the aesthetic of the beacon, but you don't want the beacon beam. Just get some tinted glass, and you got it. You got your problem fixed there. Anyways, the third one is going to be basically how to make basically a structure that is very simple and really resembles the mace. So of course we all know the mace. We know, so basically the mace, of course it's basically the weapon that you basically, jump off a high place, hit a mob, you take no damage, and you deal a lot of damage to that mob. Just a quick run over of what the mace is. Now basically, like anything, a lot of things, you have to make big elaborate builds that take hours and hours to do. But what if I told you that I could recreate this in blocks with only 3 blocks? You would think that was impossible, but I'm going to show you it is possible. Now the thing is, you're going to need 1 lodestone and 2 endstone rods. And believe me, you place 1 endstone down, pretty simple, the other endstone on top of it. And, this is really, really simple. And then put the lodestone on top. If I can ever get it on top, come on. Oh no, I missed. Give me a second. Okay guys, I'm back, and I got another lodestone, because obviously I can't place the first lodestone right. But anyways, I'm going to place this lodestone right. Hopefully, it's hard because you got to get it on that, the little tiny top of the endstone rod. You gotta get on because it's hard because you gotta get on that tiny top of the end rod. But oh gosh, if I can do it, that'd be amazing. There we go. All right, I placed it right. But basically, at first, you might not see the resemblance at first, but then if I actually get the mace again, look at the resemblance. Especially, if you can't, obviously you can't see the full thing in my hand, but if you look at my hotbar, you can see what it looks like. You can see that the end rods really look like that, the long, breeze rod, handle of the, mace, and it also has, these little particle effects that are, like a bluish color, which is even closer to the color of the, breeze rod that is the handle of the mace. And also the lodestone really looks like that blackish gray kind of back and forth design. It's hard to explain. It's almost like it's hard to explain, but it's kind of like it's like a gray with like a bunch of black outlines in it. But basically, that's obviously what the mace looks like the head of the mace, the heavy core part. That's what it really looks like. And especially if you get a heavy core itself, or if you get a breeze rod itself, like it really looks like what's in this build. So I'll actually do that. And just as an item form, as a two-dimensional item, it may be hard to tell if a three-dimensional build is accurate or not. But when you get the the pretty much three-dimensional stuff, so you get the heavy core. I mean, look at the resemblance. Come on, the lodestone, the heavy core. That's a pretty accurate resemblance. I mean, it's pretty accurate. I mean, obviously, it's not exact, but it's pretty accurate. I mean, it's a good 98% accurate there. Also, you got you also got the breeze rod, which actually also, I mean, even though the end rod is white, the thing is, it has these particles that are like a bluish color that kind of look like that, like the white in the middle of the breeze rod, and the like the blue on the outside, which is kind of like these blue particle effects on the outside of the white end rod. So I really think it all works together, and it honestly, I think it at least it's probably around 98% accurate, to the actual mace, and the components separated, what they look like, it's definitely around 98% accurate. But what everyone's been waiting for this entire video, of course, is the ender chest. I mean, everyone's been waiting for what is in this thing, so let's just open it now. So, what we got, this is a lot. I know it's a lot, but I promise I'll explain it. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to place your armor stand down. You're going to, basically then the thing is, you're going to place, basically, your oak planks on, it doesn't matter, your oak planks slash, filler blocks, it's just going to be your, temporary blocks that are there just, when the redstone's happening, like when the pistons are pushing certain things together. I'll explain it more into depth later, but basically you're gonna place your filler blocks or oak planks or whatever on. It doesn't matter, whatever side you want. You go up 2 blocks. So now the top block should basically be at the top of the armor stand. So basically, then what you're gonna do is on the other side you're gonna be placing 2 pieces of glass. Then basically what you're gonna do is you're going to be placing 2 pistons. Now the pistons are going to be facing towards the glass, so you're going to be wanting to be facing. Basically, you're going to be wanting to, be facing away from the armor stand and placing these pistons. And then basically, what you're going to do is place a lever on each of these pistons, and basically, you're going to push the glass into the armor stand. Then basically, what you're going to do is you're going to break the filler blocks. You're going to be breaking both filler blocks, and then you're going to basically break the pistons and both of the levers. Now, this is a big disclaimer. The pistons have to be normal pistons. They cannot be sticky pistons, because if the pistons are sticky pistons, they're going to push the glass and then bring them right back. And then when you bring the glass right back, it takes it right, out of the armor stand, and the armor stand's going to be by itself, and obviously the glass is going to be retracted, and you don't want that. So you're going to want pistons, so the pistons push the glass, but they don't retract and take the glass with them. And then and this is, a kind of interesting way to display your armor in kind of it's kind of a like glass display case. It's really interesting, but this isn't it. Not just how it looks, but it actually is also functional. Now let me show. This is why I had all the armor and the netherite sword. The reason was because basically, see how there's one arm that basically is like really in the glass, and then there's one arm sticking out. Basically, you can equip armor even through this glass display case if you basically position yourself basically in the front of, basically it's going to be because it's going to be kind of, it's going to be where the arm is sticking out the most, which side. So the thing is, it's going to be in the frontal part of the armor stand. Now, it's really going to be hard to understand which is the front and the back. But as you see, the arms are facing towards one way. That's going to be considered the front for this video. So basically what you're going to do is in the, quote-unquote front, you're going to basically, on the side where that arm is sticking out, you're going to basically aim your cursor a little bit in between the glass and the arm in between there. And then the equip button should appear. And then you can actually keep that process going. And then if you keep moving your cursor away and then towards that, basically that armor stand in the glass again, you can actually have this crazy cool illusion where your armor and your sword or whatever you want in its hand. And it's really interesting. It's in this glass display case, and it's really interesting. It's really interesting to see this, and the fact that you can, unequip and equip armor and tools again is really interesting and unique. And it's not just like the normal thing where it's, the armor is just displayed, in like other videos, which obviously it's not displayed in, to this detail and this, this perfect. But the thing is, the way that it's functional and you can take armor from it and put it back on it is kind of crazy and something that is just, it's just a build hack that everyone needs to know. But anyways, please like, subscribe, and share this channel with your friends. Until then, goodbye.